Hi, this is Kim White with the My Sexy Business team. I am here to do something that is absolutely incredible this beautiful day, and that is introduce the world to the One Moment Wiser podcast with Kristi Bridges. Kristi, I am so proud of you for doing this, and you are such an amazing woman of God. You are an amazing corporate trainer. You're an amazing author, speaker. I mean, I can go on and on about all your awesome sauce, but thank you for doing this podcast.
Oh, I am so excited about it. And Kim, you've been with me since the beginning. So you've seen more than I have how this dream was going to unfold. And I'm just so grateful to have you with me on this journey.
I am so honored. You can't make me cry, though.
I can't promise anything.
I am so honored to be with you on this journey and to have watched you do so many amazing things. And now this just adds to your amazing calling and the mission you have for this world. The first question out of the gate, I really would like to know, why did you start this podcast? Like, this is episode 1, the introduction podcast. Why did you want a podcast?
Since I was a little kid, I've always been kind of a reverse engineer of wiser living. I've known so many people who are a little ahead of me, and I could look at where they ended up and think back to where the wrong turn may have been or where the right turn was. And I've been looking for the wisdom in those things to help other people make better decisions, see the future sort of. And over the last couple of years, as I've been sharing that wisdom, I guess it's been 3 years now, as I've been sharing that wisdom through One Moment Wiser, I have met so many incredible people with really good stories and insight of their own as to how did I get here, or where did I get to and decide I don't want to be there, and how did I redirect my life? And so I want to share those people with my One Moment Wiser followers. I want to share those people with even more people who may not be able to watch Facebook because they're driving to work, but they can listen to a podcast. So we can get people on both in both areas.
I love that. Well, why now? Like, why is it important to start this podcast now? And in the entire journey that you've gone through, why is it so compelling to you at this time?
Well, sure. There's never a time when we can't say, I want to be somewhere else 5 years from now, or a year from now, or 6 months from now. Or I want to share with other people where I've been and help them. So for both of those reasons, now is always the best time to start, right? I'm going to help people, and already have begun, help people learn to share their own wisdom wisely, but learn to make good decisions today for better futures.
Oh my goodness. Yes. Now is always the best time.
Yes.
Well, who is this podcast for? Like, speak to that very person, because there are podcasts that are not for some people, and then they are for some people. Explain who this podcast is really for.
Absolutely. So this podcast is for 2 types of people. Maybe you are at a point where you don't know which way to go in your future. You're making decisions now, or you've been floating for a little while and need to make some decisions, but everything looks like a possibility and anything could go wrong. Well, I'm here to help you know how to choose wisely, how to live with habits that will help create your future effortlessly. And for the other part of my audience, if you are living with regrets, we all have them, right? If you are living with regrets, I can help you see how your story has unfolded in a way that can make your future stronger. We aren't, nothing is lost. We aren't all out of options. If we are still following God, then He's going to use anything that we've put into the mix to turn out a life of beauty. And so I want to help you get past those regrets and actually see possibilities unfold you may never have expected.
I love that. Completely love that. Well, what's in it for them? Like what will it benefit them to follow your podcast and to see your interviews and, just what will they get out of it?
Absolutely. There is a lot of anxiety and depression in this world, and there's a lot of physical illness that comes from our stress that's built on regret and our fears that are built on bad past decisions, or just the feeling of overwhelm. Well, so number one, coming and hanging out with One Moment Wiser, you're going to learn to love life moment by moment. And so you won't have to face those same physical and mental traumas in your future, right? And you'll learn to relax and let go of some of those things so that you can live in hope. Somebody who hangs out with One Moment Wiser is probably going to get a few laughs. They're probably going to hear someone that I interview who's been through a similar situation as what they've been through. They're probably going to learn how to communicate better, how to understand themselves better, how to have relationships that are enjoyable and not frustrating. That's what they're going to get out of hanging out with One Moment Wiser. Communication, good relationships, good self-understanding, and a full life that's fun to live.
I love that. I know that one of your books is titled Wisdom Better Than Wishing.
Yes.
And I think that this podcast is a great demonstration of that. Like the wisdom that you share and the wisdom that your guest will share will impact, millions of lives. And I am so honored to have been here from the beginning, like you said. I think that is such an amazing thing to have front row seat to see you flourish. Because honestly, this isn't you talking about something that you don't understand or you've heard from someone else. This is something you've gone through and are sharing openly.
Yes.
And I think that's a secret to like really changing things, really being able to change those habits, really having that transformation is because you know what you're talking about. You're going to make me cry.
Well, I'm thinking about that conversation that we had in my driveway that lasted till midnight when I was trying to decide whether to follow a path that everybody expected would be the next step or to follow my dreams. And I had given up on thinking that my dreams were possible or viable. But they were still in there. And I was like, well, this is just temporary. This will just, right, some excuse. And you stood in the driveway and you have vision. You're kind of a visionary. And you said, you know what? I see a future here. And here's what I want to help you do this year. And if you had told me all the things that you would help me do over the next few years, I probably would have been like overwhelmed, or I would have thought you were crazy and, maybe just blowing smoke. But over the next couple of years, I've been able to do just monumental things. So many things. People go, how do you have the energy to do all this? And it's because we unfold one thing at a time, and you've had this vision that's so far seeing that I'm really, really blessed. I want to be that for other people. Here's how today you can nurture love in your relationship. Here's how today you can share your wisdom in a way that doesn't chase people away. Let me show you how to do this little step, because I can see a future that involves you waking up and being happy, and you going to Thanksgiving dinner and not wanting to hide. Those family relationships and those life things that everybody needs. I want to be where you are a visionary for businesses. I want to be a visionary for my audience's personal and future lives.
Oh my goodness. And you are definitely the girl for the job. I believe in you completely. I think that you are amazing and you help so many people to transform permanently. I think that's the key too, is that it's not a temporary fix or a temporary band-aid. It's something that you're giving truth. Sometimes it's not real pleasant truth.
Okay.
But that wisdom really does impact in a way that creates change.
Yeah. It's not 30 pounds in 30 days that you're going to gain 60 pounds later. It's little life altering ways of thinking and habits. And you're doing it together with me and with my guests that are truly amazing people like Kim.
Aw, thank you for that. And, I want to publicly say, one, I completely believe in you, and I have always seen a huge vision for you. But I want to point out, it's not my vision, it's your vision. And God created that in you.
Yeah.
And I just want to say that out loud, that this is not a magic thing that, I thought up for you and then you did the dance. Very important difference is I just saw what God was doing in you, and you did it. You showed up, and you showed up big, because most people would not have trusted the process or trusted this princess along this road, because it hasn't been a very, it wasn't a week. And like you said, it wasn't the 30 pounds in 30 days. This is the process of learning and evolving into what now is such an amazing business, an amazing impact, and such an influencer. You're a great influencer.
I enjoy that.
So exciting.
Well, I take a little while to take your advice sometimes. But I think we all have to grow into the next step. And I'm just really grateful for you being patient and picking me up those times when everything just felt like, it was going to be fruitless. And you were there to say, oh, no, keep showing up. And I'm grateful for that.
Well, I'm grateful you showed up. And I am so grateful that you're doing this podcast. When can people expect their newest episode? Like, are you going to do it on a time schedule or a certain day? How are you gonna show up for this podcast?
Certainly. Well, this is, a work in progress. It's brand new. But at the moment, it seems like Saturday mornings are a great time for my listeners. They can listen to it while they're, driving around doing errands. And so I'm expecting to post these Saturday mornings around 10 o'clock Central Time. So we'll be doing them live here at 9 o'clock and then posting that podcast. Are we posting those synchronistically, or are we doing those afterwards? I'm still learning.
Well, and that's the cool part about this is, and I love this because you're showing up not even knowing all the details yet. Like, you're still showing up, and that's a key to wisdom also, is that when you show up not knowing all the parts, because some of us want to wait till we know all the parts,
Oh gosh.
But how awesome it is you're showing up and going to work out along the way. So stay tuned to this podcast for more details every week.
Yes. Saturday mornings, I'm sorry, every other week. So as a full-time trainer, this will be an every other week endeavor.
Well, thank you so much for giving me the honor and the pleasure of interviewing you for your first episode of One Moment Wiser podcast with Kristi Bridges.
Mm-hmm. You are smart, audience. You choose good things. You're human. Sometimes choices become regrets. So spend time with One Moment Wiser, and moment by moment, you are going to love your life. This is Kristi Bridges signing off on our very first podcast. Bye-bye.